This coming Sunday, you will hear the following reading from Mark chapter 12. Jesus sat down opposite the place where the offerings were being put and watched the crowds putting their money into the temple treasury. Many rich people threw in large amounts, but a poor widow came and put in 2 very small copper coins, worth only a few cents. Calling his disciples to him, Jesus said, "Truly I tell you, this poor widow has put more into the treasury than all the others. They all gave out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in everything, all she had to live on." Just imagine if Jesus came to our worship services and watched us place our offerings into the plate. Wouldn't that make us all a little self-conscious, to say the least? I mean, before you gave the offering and seeing that Jesus is taking very careful note of each gift, you might begin to second guess yourself. Is this enough? Or if you give quarterly or monthly and aren't putting anything into the plate this particular week, would you feel the need to explain the reason why, saying, "Well, Jesus, I give online. That's the reason I don't have anything." And then, giving this very legitimate reason, if why you're not giving anything, you can feel a little bit better about yourself, right? I mean, yeah. Or maybe, just maybe, you don't give anything on a regular basis. And seeing that Jesus sees you not giving anything, it could be a little uncomfortable. Or maybe you feel very good about your gift. I mean, it's large enough to matter. If people like you were not putting in such large donations into the plate on a regular basis, I mean, how would we keep the lights on, right? How could the staff's salaries be paid and the day-to-day operations of ministry continue if it were not for people like you? You're not bragging, but you want to give the gift because you like the congregation. You want to see it thrive. And you've learned from very early on in life that generosity is good and it honors God, and so you give. But there's Jesus, and He's examining every gift, every heart, every thought. Whew! I mean, it's a good thing that He's not observing our offering collections each week, right? I mean, that's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of guilt or self-satisfaction that we're finally doing something that has His full approval. But Jesus, let's be honest, He is at our congregation. Yeah, whenever 2 or 3 gather in His name, He has promised to be right there with us. And He does observe our hearts and our motives and our attitudes, and He knows exactly how much we give or how much we could be giving, and there are no secrets or hiding from Him. So, as He watched the offerings coming in on that day in Jerusalem at the temple, check out His evaluation of the givers and donors. Jesus contrasts the rich who gave large amounts from their wealth and a poor widow who gave a little, but it was all that she had to live on. I do want to caution you to pay close attention to what Jesus said and did not say. He did not say that the rich were bad people doing bad things. He did not say that the poor widow was a good woman doing a good thing. I point this out because we often impose a quick moral to the story here, as if Jesus were wanting us all to be like the poor widow and not like those terrible wealthy givers. There was no "be like this" or "do this" from Jesus in this particular account. But He did note something to His disciples. There was something important that Jesus brought before their attention and for our consideration. This poor widow, in contrast to the wealthy givers who gave large sums, has done something more than the others in that she gave all that she had to live on. Now, Jesus did not say whether her gift was wise or good. He didn't say, "Be like her," or anything about you and how you should give your offerings. Jesus pointed out this woman that we might see the portion of her gift. It was everything that she had to live on. Others gave a portion too, but their portion allowed them to continue to live as they were currently living. She did not. Again, the point that Jesus was making was not, and now be like her, as if God wants you to give all of your money away. I mean, how would you eat? How would you live? Where would you live? How could you support your family, right? I mean, exactly. This isn't a teaching about the truly good person who does not possess anything. Instead, Jesus would have us look at a person who is completely dependent on God. How will she eat? Where will she live? How will she support herself and any others who depend on her, say like her grandchildren? Well, the answer is God. And look who noticed. God's Son, Jesus. Yes, Jesus himself was getting ready to do the very same thing that this woman had done with her few coins. He was about to give up everything that he had. His employment as a traveling teacher and preacher, his friends, his family, his comfort, even his clothes. Well, how will he eat? Where will he live? How will he support those dependent on him? The answer is God. Jesus gave up everything and entrusted himself to God. And it did not go well for him at first to do so. His offering of everything to God appeared to be foolish, reckless, even absurd, as he hung from a cross, bloody, without clothes, friends, or protection from death that was soon to come. We use our wealth to insulate ourselves from even seeing such terrifying ends that can come to a human being. But reality eventually strips us of such protections that money can provide. Death is coming for us. Not as tragic or horrific as crucifixion, but death nonetheless is coming. The soul that is not completely in the care of God is truly desperate, without hope, even though they may be quite wealthy and have given quite generously to many charities and even to the church. The poor widow, who put all that she had to live on in the offering plate, did not earn a place with God by her gift, but she is a picture of the illustration of the life that is saved by God. She has no other resource but God, and He is enough. Jesus gives all He has, and His gift is acceptable to God at the cross. And keep in mind that Jesus, He is the wealthiest man that has ever walked or will ever walk the face of the earth. And those who trust in Him, they too, and you too as well, will also be provided for by God. Well, what will you wear? Eternal clothes, provided by Jesus. Well, where will you live? In the Father's house, for a room has been prepared for you by Jesus. How will you take care of yourself and those dependent on you? Yeah, with the gifts that God gives to those under the care of Jesus. Well, this coming Sunday, this waits for you. Pastor Mike will be preaching on a different text, but I pray that your heart will be prepared to be completely dependent on God today and in all days. See you this weekend in Bible study and in worship.